It's gonna be a Bronte sister moment, and we're excited. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Cindy welcomes you back as well. I have not done a TBR video in a really long time because I rarely stick to it, or I'm such a mood reader that I'm like, I literally have no idea what I'm reading at the beginning of any given month. But all throughout October, there's been some books that I've really wanted to read, but I was really focused on horror specifically in October because spooky season, obviously. So I have decided that for me, November is the month of classics and mysteries and mystery classics. So that's what we're going with. I will start off with kind of the more random ones that don't fit this theme first. So the audiobooks that I'm for sure going to listen to in November, and I probably will listen to more than these two, but the for sure ones are To Have and to Hoax and To Love and to Loathe. And one of my friends recently got into romance, and she had read both of these and said that they were fun, so I'm really excited for that. Currently, I'm almost done listening to The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata, and I have just been all up on listening to romances on audiobook, so these are the two that I'm prioritizing for November. But physical book-wise, let's start off with the least specific first, which probably makes no sense to you, but I have here 4 Agatha Christie's that I have not read. I've read 3 of hers, and that's it. And I feel like I've read more, but I don't think I have. I've read Halloween Party, Murder on the Orient Express, and Then There Were None. And I'm 100% sure And Then There Were None is going to stay my favorite. I think I flew too close to the sun with reading that one of hers really early on in my Agatha Christie journey, because it was just amazing, and I don't think anything can top that for me. But I have these other ones that I either own or have borrowed from my friend Audrey that I feel like Agatha Christie, like, November's just the vibe for that, you know? So we have here Death on the Nile. As always, I have no idea what these are about. I just know they're murder mystery. You know, Agatha Christie kind of follows the same general plot and like plot structure, so you know, in general I know what to expect, but I don't know like the nature of the murders or anything like that. And obviously the big question is who did it, you know, and obviously I don't know that, so I don't really know anything specifically about these. But I have Death on the Nile, I have Endless Night, I have Evil Under the Sun, and I have The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. So I definitely want to read like 2 of these. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to all 4. I also don't want to read too many of hers in like quick succession to where they all kind of start blending together for me. So yeah, but if you have read any of these 4 that I mentioned, like, give me your top 2, because I'm probably most likely going to read 2 out of those 4 in November. And to go along with that, I have The Mystery of Mrs. Christie by Marie Benedict. This is one that I completely impulse bought at Barnes & Noble when they were doing their big sale a couple months ago. And this is like a mystery thriller. It's like, because I know Agatha Christie had like a weird disappearance that's very ironic for the fact that she wrote mysteries, and the fact that she kind of had her own mysteries, kind of weird and kind of creepy. So I think it takes part of that, like the facts that we have from that, but then there's a lot that we don't know about that. Like the actual mystery of Agatha Christie like has never been solved. So, you know, it's taking the facts and then it's like fictionalizing the rest of it, if that makes sense. I haven't even looked this up on Goodreads yet. I don't even know if it's good, but I am very excited to read it anyway. And yeah, so that just pairs so nicely with the Agatha Christie books, you know? I'm very excited for this month, if you couldn't tell. So now I have my 2 classics that I'm hoping to read in the month of November. The first one is one that I have not read before, and that is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Honestly, don't know why I haven't read Jane Eyre yet. I have been recommended Jane Eyre so many times, and I know that I will like it. I don't think I've seen a movie adaptation of it yet, and ever since like I got this copy and have been planning on reading it, I purposely haven't watched any adaptations, so I don't really know any intricate plot details. I just kind of know like there's Jane Eyre and there's Rochester and there's like something creepy going on in an attic, and that's all I know. So yeah, I am so excited to read this. Watching Crimson Peak, for some reason, I watched the movie for the first time in October, and my friend who I was watching it with has read Jane Eyre, and she was just like kept saying like, if you want these types of vibes, like Jane Eyre, Jane Eyre, Jane Eyre, and her and a lot of people have always been telling me to read Jane Eyre, so we're doing it. I think the reason I didn't read this yet, honestly, is because I didn't read it in high school, and that's when I read a lot of classics, obviously, like in my like junior and senior year like literature classes, and so now it's like time to play catch up with all the ones that I didn't read then. So I'm very excited. This is a chunky lad, but I can't wait. I might read this along with an audiobook. Not sure yet. Gonna, see how I feel in the moment, but I'm very excited to read Jane Eyre. And then the other half of my little like classics moment in November, I just realized, is I'm having like a Bronte sister November. If you would like to adopt Bronte sister November as well, please feel free. But I am rereading Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I have this gorgeous Barnes & Noble edition of it with sprayed edges, and it has a ribbon, and it's gorgeous, and I have never actually read this copy of it. I read Wuthering Heights senior year of high school, and I think I was one of the few people in my class that liked it, and that was almost 10 years ago. That's disgusting, but I'm really excited to see what I think now. I think I'm going to like it even more now, because like when you're reading a book for an English class, we, read it in kind of weird chunks over a longer period of time, and then we like analyzed the shit out of it and did all these projects with it, and it's a different experience than when you just read something for funsies and you don't have to do a bunch of analyzing and all of that. So I don't know why I'd like it less the second time. I feel like if anything, I'm gonna like it more. I would say when I first read it, it was probably like a 3-star. So we'll see what happens. I do have a very fond memory of it was like a weird like challenge group assignment in my English class where we read this, where for that class, like we were seated in groups, like at group tables anyway. But there was this one class session where we were given Post-it notes and like I don't know if it was timed or it was just like the first group to be done, but we had to make a list of all of these characters, like write their names on Post-its, and then we had to make a family tree for them, because there are a lot of characters with very, very similar names in this book, and it is kind of frustrating because it's like there are other names out there. Like everyone doesn't have to sound the same, and it can make it kind of hard to tell them apart. And I remember I think my group won, but we were like putting all the 25 billion Catherines in this book like on this family tree, and it was just so fun. So I'm just really excited. I know it's gonna bring back a lot of memories of like class discussions and stuff with this. So yeah, it's gonna be a Bronte sister moment, and we're excited. So those are kind of the general ones, and then if I do happen to have more time in November, these are kind of the other 2 books that I would most likely pick up. Either The Lion Game by Ruth Ware, which is the only Ruth Ware that I have not read yet. So I need to remedy that, because once I read all of her stuff, I wanted to do like a big Ruth Ware video. So I have that one, and then I also have Survive the Night by Riley Sager. I have read 3 of Riley Sager's and I have loved all of them, so I'm very excited for this one. And then actually, let's take a quick look at what else I have on Libby here, because I do mainly read ebooks before bed. Yeah, so I also do have, I have The Corpse Queen by Heather Herman, and I have Small Favors by Erin A. Craig, which is actually one of my most anticipated reads of the year, but it doesn't really fit with the vibe of the rest of these, and I don't know if I'm in a fantasy mood, so I might wait on that one. So I think the two digital ones that I might be reading in the month of November would probably be The Corpse Queen and The Death of Jane Lawrence, which it looks like my hold is coming in soon for that as well. So we can add those to the list. But the for sure ones are two of those Agatha Christie's, the Mystery of Mrs. Christie book, the two Bronte sister books, and then we'll kind of go from there. But this is the general gist. I got my mystery classics November, and I am just really, really excited. So let me know if you've read any of these, what you think, please. If you have any insight into which of these specific Agatha Christie's I should pick up and prioritize, let me know. Let me know. I feel like a lot of people have read Jane Eyre, so let me know if you've read it and what you thought of it. And if you want to join me on my impromptu Bronte sister November, feel free. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a great day or night, and I will talk to you later. Bye!